Okay, more of the Portland, Oregon tour. This is the end of the line for the MAX lines in North Portland. The MAX line is a commuter train system that goes throughout the area. At this point, they turn around and they go back into town, basically. It's the end of the yellow line. Now, that system is constantly being expanded to the in the other compass directions, but this is as far north as it'll go because just on the other side of that hump is a river, and then of course a small island called Hayden Island, and then Washington State. So right now what you'll see is rush hour traffic. Now this is holiday. This is President's Day 2015, and these are all the people that didn't have the day off work, basically. There's a little bit of freight and terminal out here, but that's mainly boat maintenance type stuff. And I'm going to show some work I did at a houseboat marina. The Expo Center here is this series of buildings. They run trade shows, RV shows. A lot of trade show stuff happens here where large amounts of space and display space are needed. There's an annual car show out here that is so large, it takes up the entire area out there, the entire parking lot area, and then areas around a racetrack over that way. There's also some of the biggest gun shows in the western states are here. They used to be much better, but the BATF and the law enforcement has been less than friendly to them, and it's just not as big as it used to be. But this is also where we had the Preparedness Expo. One of my criticisms at the Preparedness Expo, though, is there's echo in the buildings. So when people are trying to give classes and presentations, there's a lot of echo and background noise in the buildings. But this is the Expo Center. So if anybody says, hey, you know, how do you get to the Expo Center, whatever, you basically head north till you hit the signs right before you get into Washington State. Parking here gets expensive on the weekends when they have events. This is a commuter parking area for people that want to use a train to get into town. The little secret for the expo stuff is park somewhere in town and then take the train in. The train's only a few bucks. It's cheaper to bring the train in than it is to park here. The only thing is, if you're coming for the gun show, they'll kind of harass people a little bit if they're getting on the train with a bunch of gun cases, although technically I don't think you're breaking a law doing that, but they frown on it. The other thing is, I'll do event parking here for stuff which is downtown, because you could park here and then go downtown, and right now it's not done, but you can kind of sort of get away with parking RVs here and then going into town too. So this is North Portland, North Interstate Avenue. We'll see if we can zoom in on that, North Interstate Avenue. And this is basically one of the areas that's becoming gentrified. And it used to be kind of edgy but cool for, I don't know, the 15 years I've been coming to this town. This was always kind of an edgy and cool type neighborhood. The gentrification here has been a little bit selective, though. The houses look older. There's a lot of the older long-term residents here. This used to be kind of like one of the seedy hotel central type places. My understanding is it's been converted to like emergency housing for families with children. You know, Dignity Village, Right to Dream 2, all those places are basically for homeless single people, homeless family, displaced families. They try to get them. They try to get them in places like that. This is all new construction. I'm not sure if this is going to be residential or commercial. Behind it was some newer residential stuff. When this is built, it tends to be the first come people pay the higher price, and then if there's units left over, they're rented out at a lower price. So we don't know all of what's going to happen on that. Over there's a Dancing Bear nightclub, strip club. You know, it has the appearance of having like apartments upstairs, maybe once upon a time, a couple decades ago, it was like a you know, girls for a little bit longer term rent thing upstairs, but now it's not. They've actually gotten a lot of attention, and a lot of people that come into town for the Expo Center. That's the closest to the strip club, so they're under a lot of scrutiny. So, you know, it's one of those places where they like actually scan your ID when you go in, and they kind of do everything by the rules. This, of course, is that Max line as it travels along that I showed the end of it before. We're about a mile from the previous location, or a mile and a half from the previous location.